I think that's the perfect time to start.
Those conversations, we had them.
My belief is that it is a journey.
We just recently put out a blog about how early preparation saved a family business. And, it's interesting because there's no proof that early preparation saves any family businesses. I think the only thing that early preparation does is help people to walk through a business transition, a family transition of assets. It helps them walk through it with more clarity and with things that help them to do it better together. When you think about early preparation, what does that really mean? And I think that's diving into just what is important in this whole transition, what's important to have happen. And usually people want the assets to be moving well and also to survive. And not only to survive, but also be appreciated and also to be accepted and to continue forward well, because you want this business or these assets to continue to serve the family and the family members, even if the family's a little bit bigger, which means the assets have to produce more. But you also want it to serve the people, the vendors, the customers, the other people that rely on this business, the employees. So does early preparation really save businesses? Maybe, but we don't know that for sure. If you're gonna be thinking about early preparation, it's a little bit difficult to do that. And I'm gonna do another little video on this, but I thought I'd drop this in here as well, because when you get to be 55 maybe, one of the recommendations is to think in decades. So you always want to have a 10-year vision. And when you're 30 and 40, that 10-year vision is pretty exciting, because typically the business and the assets are still in your life and you're still actively working with them and actively engaged in not only the continued growth and development, but also in just the day-to-day activities. That's fun. When you get to be, let's say 60, or maybe even 65, but let's just choose 60. A 10-year vision puts you at 70 years old. And it's not as much fun to think about, what you're going to be doing at 70. It could be really fun for you, because you might have a great next adventure and really want to do some of that travel and all of those things, play more golf, enjoy life, be with the grandkids. The list goes on. Maybe do some philanthropic type things that you've been wanting to do for almost your entire life, but haven't done yet. So sometimes that vision looks great. However, included in that vision is you potentially no longer being as active in the business, maybe taking on a different role, like the, chairman of the board maybe, or something along those lines. So, and it could be just a passive investor, or being not invested in the business at all anymore. So when you start to think you're in your 60s and you're trying to think a decade ahead, that's a massive change in life. So preparing ahead of time to walk through that well makes a big difference for not only you to be able to actually see it, envision it, understand it, prepare for it personally, but it also makes a big difference for the people that are going to be your successors, the people who are going to come in and take over all of the important roles that you play today and, continue to play. So this 10-year vision is a little bit different as you age. And sometimes it's a little bit frightening, not only because if you don't have a next adventure, it's frightening. The business is everything. The business is everything I do. It's the reason why I get out of bed. At some point in time, it'd be nice to have another next adventure, something that you're really going to enjoy, so that this business can go on without you. But it's also fearful, because if you don't have any idea of what your successor would look like, who your successor might be or successors, how you're going to go about figuring that out, how you're going to manage any perceived conflict or dilemmas that might be sitting in front of you, like picking between two kids or picking between two employees who have both been loyal and amazing for so many years. And even, your successor being ready. I had a great conversation with a lady the other day. She's another advisor. And she was telling me this story about a dad who showed up in her office and said, you know what, I just don't know if my son's ready for this. He's been working with us for 10 years and he just doesn't seem to be ready. And in her opinion, it was kind of like, in a way, shame on you being the dad or being the leader of this business. How were you developing this person? How were you treating him or her as an employee? It was a son. So how were you treating him as an employee? What kind of reviews were you giving him? Were you telling him that he actually needed to step up and actually do the work? Giving him the opportunity to have his own challenges and figure it out. So I thought that was an interesting concept. So, if your successor is not ready, what's the preparation? What's the runway? What's their job? And how do they know if they're winning or if they're losing the opportunity to be that successor and to actually run the company? As you go through that, what are things that you're looking for? You're looking for what your purpose is in life. You're looking for the next adventure for your successor to also be a great one, because you're going to be leaving the business. Successors coming in. And we have a new workshop that's out. It's called Metamorphosis. And we do a deep dive in 90 minutes on what does it take, what kind of a metamorphosis are you going through as a business owner to get out of the business? We call it Beyond. And then what kind of metamorphosis are the successors going through, because it's tremendous, their learning curve and what they've got to do. It's amazing. And not only, it's pretty amazing for the owner as well to have to go through that. So things that you're thinking about in this early preparation are, what makes you happy? What makes you fulfilled? What are you going to do for your health to stay healthy while you're doing that? Maybe what does spiritual life look for you? How do you want to spend your time? What are your new activities if you need some new ones, or maybe you already have some that you can dive deeper into? What are friends and family going to be doing there? And how are people in the world that are connected to you in business, how are they going to react to it, and what are they going to think about it? So we have this tool called the Objectives Matrix, and that tool is great. It helps you to kind of navigate those kinds of things. Early preparation, how does it help you? I personally don't know if it truly saves a family business. However, I think it puts the odds in your favor if you are clear and you have some kind of a strategy going forward that you can invite people into. That might be a 5-year strategy or a 10-year strategy. It helps you make the decisions today so that you can get from where you are today to where you want to be in the time frame that you choose. One thing that we find is that the business owner doesn't really understand how much of a leader they need to be in this succession and transition journey. It's a whole new level of leadership. And if you're getting a little bit bored with your company, this is a really fun thing to do, because it gives you a new project, not just running the day-to-day with basic strategies, but really starting to think about what's next and what could this business do in somebody else's hands with new energy, young energy, and maybe even new investment. Right? You might keep a little bit of your money in, but you may choose not to. So what you're doing is you're by doing some of this strategic work, again, you're putting the odds in your favor of it going well, the odds in your favor of other people being able to step in and know what's required and needed. So there's less confusion which usually translates into less conflict. You're being brave, having the conversations that need to be had, and you're doing it with positive energy, not because, oh my gosh, I'm so sad that I'm leaving, but you're doing it with positive energy of saying, you know what, I'm doing amazing work here, and when it's my time to leave, I will. However, I'm going to transition and transfer a lot of different things so that, one, you can get onto your next adventure that you're so excited about because you've done some preparation, and two, you can see this business thrive forward without you, which is really one of the most important things that you'll ever do as an entrepreneur and an owner investor. So we want to transfer vision, we want to transfer roles, we want to transfer power, we want to transfer relationships, and we want to expand the sense of purpose that everybody has that are involved. Everybody that's involved in this, we want to expand their sense of purpose so that you're all working on the same thing. Thinking about, does early planning save a family business? And I'll tell you, I think actually it is a huge influencer in the ability for a family business to go on to a next generation and to do it well. We have a great program where in 3 days you can basically come in, including either by yourself or with a successor, and in 3 days create your own strategy forward, your own transition roadmap. We have everything laid out electronically for you, so when you walk in, you'll have everything ready to go. And when you walk out, you will have an electronic version of every single step that leads you to the building of this transition roadmap. It'll be yours to use into the future and yours to share, which is really important, with anybody who needs to know or would like to know more about what you see in your future and the future of the business. So that is a great transition roadmap program, and it's called the Transition Roadmap Masterclass. So again, a great opportunity, and I'd like to invite you to at least check it out.